Good afternoon, Jefi. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm excited to talk about the design dish.
We're dishing design.
Dish
Can't
and
wait.
design. When I
So what's
read
going
this
on?
outline, I was
Mhm.
excited because
Po-
both you and I have been working on kitchen remodels for our houses.
For our personal residences. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Whoop, whoop,
So,
whoop, whoop. I,
yeah.
well, the backstory, which you're going to go into, is that you had a cool event and then that prompted this. So, which was really rad because I've been in, true story, I've been in kitchen design phase for 2 years.
You sound like some of my clients.
I know. You know, I love to cook. I'm a cook.
Yeah.
And my kitchen is subpar to what I would envision my cooking ability being.
Well, no, you are a power cook and you need a power kitchen.
I do need a power
So-
kitchen. Oh, man. So here's the funny thing. Trends are changing.
Yep.
You and I see hundreds of houses a year,
Yep. Yep.
probably thousands, because we not only look personally, but we look online a lot for our clients. And you and I, we always see kind of the same. And then I'm designing this kitchen, which I feel is completely different than what I'm seeing. You're designing a kitchen that's completely different than what you're seeing. And now we're finding that the trend is even shifting differently. So I'm excited to hear a little bit of the backstory with your party.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was going on there is I held a client event, a Valentine's event at a kitchen design studio, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
and had a bunch of clients there. We came in, and everybody loved it. By the way, it was a great event. But what I realized, well, wait,
Everybody loved it, Jefi.
Everybody loved it. But what I realized is I was looking at the stuff and I'm going, I don't see any of this in any of the homes I'm selling
Yeah.
right now. And I do think we're kind of on this crest of a design switch. And I thought,
It's
this
time.
could be a really good episode. And it
Yeah.
is time. So, so that was the background on it. And yes, we're kind of leaning into a lot of that stuff. I think why it matters for buyers
Mm-hmm.
is they really need to be aware of the emerging trends, and you want to buy a home that aligns with that, and be thinking about those trends as you're making choices on what you want to do in the future.
That's true. And that could be trends in appliances, and it could be trends in the color. Like if you move into a house and you want to paint the cabinets a different color, there's that involved. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I feel about trends at the end of this podcast. But the other thing is that if you're a seller right now and you're getting ready to do a spruce up or you're getting ready to do something, I probably wouldn't just lean into your contractor's advice because they've got the paint and they've got the this and they've got the that and they want to use it up. But you could be on the cutting edge of something really cool and different. So stop and think about that before you just make a decision to do what everybody else is doing.
Exactly. I think that's really important. So let's go into it.
Okay.
So emerging design trends for kitchens, kind of get into the nitty gritty.
Yep.
I think the first thing that jumped out, nature inspired designs. That's what we're seeing more of.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I interpret that is like we're seeing more natural woods on cabinets, less painted cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of moving away from the white cabinets.
Yeah.
And moving more into the walnuts. And we saw that. We saw a lot of that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What year is that from? Walnut? 70?
Yeah, but like it doesn't come back the same way, right? So it's not like but yeah, it's more of this natural modernism is kind of the trend, where it's this integration of nature with clean design.
I like that.
And that's kind of what's on point. So we were seeing a lot of that. So
cool.
think natural wood finishes, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Mixed materials is
that's the second one, right?
That's a big one too. And it's funny because when I met with my kitchen designers 2 years ago, I said to them, look, I want my kitchen to feel like I'm at Big Sur. And Big Sur, California, you're outside, you're in the redwoods, everything's a little bit funky, nothing really matches perfectly. And to me, that's what mixed material means. So I wanted to feel like I was inside cooking, but I was outside. I had the feeling of outside. So there's a lot of natural wood in my design. There's a lot of like raw material look, like stone, not stone like shine stone, but like cement stone and things like that. So I love that.
You're right on point.
I'm on point. 2 years ahead of the plan.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because you were starting this journey, I think, when I first met you, and that was like 2.5, maybe 3 years ago.
I know.
So are you finding that what you were proposing maybe got a little pushback then, and now it's not so much, or what do you hear?
No, this is another point. Is I have an incredible kitchen designer, and she actually said to me, she's all, as much as you irritate the crap out of me, I love how thorough and how much you know what you want, because not a lot of people know. They just kind of lean in. But she said it's hard with you because you do know what you want. So it's very hard to find the things that are currently being made that fit into that. So that I didn't get pushback on the ideas. I got pushback just because I don't think the materials that I was looking for were available at the time. But maybe that's why I didn't do it. Maybe that's the universe just said, nope, you're going to wait until everything's going to be available. So
they're available now. And like one of the items at the event that I had was like
your spectacular event.
My spectacularly cool event was like walnut finished Sub-Zero fridges. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like, yeah, they're starting to spec that stuff now. So I think you could lean into that.
That'd be
and
really
for our
cool.
clients, it's like, hey, that's something to be thinking about as you're doing your remodel. Don't just look at what you're seeing in all your friends' homes now. It's like what's coming.
Yeah. This is another layer to this too, because, I have a lot of clients, and I'm assuming you do too, that are of all price ranges, meaning that they're affordable. The affordability for a kitchen remodel is vastly different between all of my clients. And you don't have to have a $300,000 kitchen remodel with a Sub-Zero fridge to be on trend.
That's right. And
there's small little things you can do to get in there.
Yeah, and you don't have to have custom cabinetry. You can get semi-custom.
Yeah.
Or
there's a lot of different things you can do, for sure.
A lot of different things that you can do, but you're going to start seeing these choices. What about wellness features in baths? What do you think there?
So, well, there's two things. There's the wellness feature in the bathrooms, but there's also things in the kitchen. So, if you had, one of the things we talked about doing in our kitchen was having a very small sink right when you come in off the backyard, and having a filtrated water system in that small sink. So that whole area would be set up for hydration and, good snacks, healthy things, so that you're almost compartmentalizing the area so that you have access to all the goods that are good for you. Now, is that a wellness feature? I'm not sure. More in the bathroom area is when we redid our bathrooms a couple years ago. Nightmare 2020. FYI.
We redid our bathroom. Nightmare.
However, you don't have to live my nightmare. But again, I went with that whole Big Sur theme, and everything about the bathrooms is very lightly spa-esque. So you feel clean. It's not cluttered. It feels very much like when you do go to a spa, it's got the wood feel and the clean tile feel, and it's warm, but it's not the gray, kind of outdated gray stuff. So, I also am not an advocate for spa tubs. And maybe it's just California, but we have such hard water that all the spa outlets get really crummy.
Yeah, we're the same. Yeah,
Are you?
yeah, we saw a lot of that, and I mean, I'm going way back 20 years ago. That's what you saw, right?
Yeah.
And now it's soaking tubs. We see a lot of freestanding soaking tubs.
Yeah.
But not the spa features. And if you really want to get grossed out on one of those things, go to an inspection where they run them. They have been used and all the yuck comes out.
Well, we're gonna go right over that. Hey, one other feature that comes up a lot, just to put into the pile of ideas, is that a lot of people that are empty nesters love to have just showers in their house. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of a tub, I think, is a bad idea for resale, because a lot of times families love to have a tub for small children. So it's a very expensive feature to change. It's not paint. It's an actual fixture. So I've had clients walk away from homes that don't have bathtubs.
So it's interesting. That's a very good comment. I've been asked this question and had a lot of clients go through it. I think you have to have it. You have to have one tub. But it doesn't have to be in the primary bathroom.
No.
So you don't get rid of all your tubs, but you got to have at least one. So, and even for empty nesters, like the grandkids, you're going to have them over and you want to give them a bath.
Yeah.
People will walk from that stuff.
Yeah, they will.
But
because it's expensive. It's an expensive fix.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. Well, I think maybe be a good time to segue over to maybe like colors and then in emergent design for baths. So
let's do it.
So why don't you talk a little bit about that with like spa environment and the colors
I just did, buddy. I just talked about the spa bathroom.
I was talking about the colors that support that, which is like your blues and greens and metallic accents is what we're starting to see. I think the undercurrent is calm.
Yes. Very spa, very calm. I think actually you could speak to that more than I can, because you just saw a lot of that stuff. But, innately for me, I like calm colors. I like calm space, especially in the bathroom. So for me, metallic would not go on my wall. Metallic would be something that would be an accent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I think we're kind of seeing more of the, think earthy muted tones is kind of the way things are going.
Dude, totally on trend over here.
That's right. Well, good.
All right. Light? What about functionality?
Yeah. Well, okay. What about it?
We're going to talk about knobs and dials.
I know. I got ahead of myself. Okay, so
dude.
So if we're talking functionality, it's interesting. I think part of the trend of what we're seeing is moving a little bit away from all the super modern stuff, but more into like those modern features are buried in a retro look. So kind of going back to like knobs and pulls and different things. So I'll tell you a great example on this. I just got a new speaker system, and they're like modern bookshelf speakers that hook up to everything, Bluetooth and all that, but they look like a retro 70s speaker. So they've got that modern functionality.
Yeah.
But they've got the older look, and you can literally override stuff with a dial, right?
That's so cool.
That's kind of what's coming.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I grew up in a house that was built in 1880 in Seattle.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it had the 2-point push buttons. Remember, like you push the top one in and it would.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any of those?
I saw homes that have those. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have homes that old really here. So, but yeah, I love that. And the old school, like big knob where you push it in and then you twist it to get it to, either brighten or go down, dim.
Yeah.
Beep boop.
Yeah. Knob and tube, like wiring, that's not a thing. You got to replace that.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't want you burning your house down.
Hey, moving on. Windows, because I know you and Lynn are doing some stuff with your windows. So what's the trend on that?
Yeah, so trend there, and not real shocking, but getting that natural light in. So we're expanding some window areas and doing that. Although we had some choices, and we're not going to be doing like skylights because that would ruin some of the aesthetic.
Okay.
With the metal roof and that. So, but expanding, getting those larger, getting that light in. Also, what is an old 70s thing is passive solar. That's a real thing. That works. We have it in this home. But if you're looking at designing a new home, orient it so that you get some of those passive solar qualities.
Wow.
Which
that
is that
a
a thing?
Other podcast.
Is that a thing?
No, but it should be.
Do you know what I mean by that? Like
I do.
What that is? Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to explain it to the audience?
Just for our audience. So when you orient the home, if let's say you're going to be building a new home, well, pay attention to your eastern orientation and line up your windows for that side and have long overhangs on them so that in the wintertime, when the sun is lower, all that light streams in and warms the flooring. And we have brick floors, right? So that radiates up and it warms it. Ginger loves that in the wintertime. But then in the summertime, when the sun's higher, it goes over the center of the home and it shades it.
Yeah. It's so smart. I don't think anybody in the 1970s here was thinking about that because my house is like a freaking greenhouse in the summertime. But another story. One thing, I did show a house in Rancho Santa Fe recently, and this house was built recently, and I loved this one idea. They had the house was built in a Spanish style in a U, and in the center of the U, they had concertina glass doors that would open, which I've seen many, many times. But what they also had was about 15 feet back, a whole nother set of concertina doors. So you can either open the whole space up to be open, or you can have indoor living space, outdoor, and still have your indoor space closed.
Oh, that's pretty wild. Yeah.
It was really cool. Kind of reminded me of some like architecture in Hawaii.
Right.
So they really had put in that whole indoor outdoor, which one other thing we didn't talk about, because this house had this too, is that a lot of the newer construction homes that I see in their bathrooms have doors to an outside shower, doors to outside tubs, doors to outside private spaces, which I think is super cool in an environment like Southern California where it's warm a lot of the time of the year. So that's another on-point trend.
Yeah, we definitely see that. Outdoor showers, super popular when you can do them. And a feature that you probably don't have a lot of in California, screen porches. That's a big deal here.
We don't.
Because you can, they're really, really nice because you can use them, 3/4 of the year. So we see that. Do we want to wrap up a little bit on color for resale and our thoughts on that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you run there.
Okay, I loved what we were talking about earlier about accents, because a lot of times, you can do all this research on color and wallpapers and, metallics and all these things. But I feel like just from when you and Lynn sold your home, she's got an incredible eye for interior decorating and want to talk about what she did with the wallpaper?
Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good segue. So, bold and design colors can be very personal. Mm-hmm. And we generally at resale, we're not recommending that you do that throughout an entire home because that'll be off-putting and you'll lose buyers from that. It might be perfect for your style, but it can overwhelm a buyer. Mm-hmm. But you can take certain accent areas and really punch up that design sense, and wallpapers a great way to do that. Well, wallpaper's back. It's been back for a while. Mm-hmm. But the design is so cool now, and you can take an accent wall or one room and really feature that and pump it up. And Lynn had done that, not thinking to sell our home, but just as part of her design. Yeah. And that wallpaper wall, I know it got us an extra $100,000 on our home. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Dang, Lynn. $100,000.
Bam. And another, and to take that same story, there was a house that just hit our market by one of my favorite realtors. It was her. She's got a great design sense, and she had this crazy orange front door, right? That people just fell in love with. I was getting clients saying, "I need to see the home with the orange front door," right?
I love that.
And she got 19 offers on her home, right? So that's kind of my take. How about you? What are you seeing? What do you think?
Well, here's where it gets different for me. And maybe
hold on. I'm going to sit back. Everybody, hold on. This is going to be good. This is where Jefi gets different. Okay, let's hear it, Jefi.
Okay. I'm not really a trend follower.
I know you're not.
Yeah. And this is part of the beauty and the problem for me is that I think everybody should live in their home and have their home be exactly what they want. Because it's where you come home each day. It's where you relax. It's where you enjoy. It's where you build your life. And to be on trend that doesn't speak to you as a human, I don't like that. Now, I do think that if you're really in love with a wallpaper, you could take it down like Lynn did and do it in a smaller sense. I love that idea. And I'm very much in alignment with that.
Gotcha.
But if somebody came in and said, if you paint your wall red, you're not going to, get the extra $100,000, I'd be like, screw it. I'll just paint over it when I'm ready to sell. Because I want to enjoy that space. So taking all of this information, if you're a person who really doesn't care and you are like, well, I don't care, I'll just live in whatever, get on trend. If you're a person who does care, don't get stuck in the trend.
And know that you may be making a choice. Be conscious of that.
Yeah.
That at resale, if you ever sell, you may never, you might have to tone it down.
Right.
In order to maximize it.
Sorry, Ollie's pushing me around here. That's why those big things like taking out all the tubs, probably not a great idea, even though I love showers too. Probably not wallpapering your entire house. Probably not using metallic paint on the exterior of your house.
Or painting the wallpaper because then we can't get it off. But, yeah.
So in closing, both Ed and I have incredible designers. And if we don't have a designer in your area, we can 100% refer you to somebody who is in your area. It's always really good to consult someone because that is what they do. This is where we got all this information. We got this information from our trusted people. So definitely reach out to us if you need anything. Yeah.
And we'll answer those questions too, because Jefi does have really, really good design sense. She doesn't follow trends. She sets them. Couldn't resist.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.